Hello, fellow One Piece fans. As I was scrolling on Instagram today, I saw this comment. I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I think they did a better job with Gear 5 in this episode than they did in Wano. That was amazing. And another person commented, honestly, I agree. They made it look more intimidating and gave it like that serious tone, you know? Look, I actually think these two, look, you're wrong. You're wrong. And you're wrong simply for the fact that you don't understand who Luffy is and you don't understand what he represents and his fruit represents. So, first, I just want to say that I've watched every episode of One Piece and I rewatched these episodes, of course. I'm not going to argue for something I didn't even watch within like a day. And I've analyzed it. I looked at Kaido. I looked at Kaido fighting Luffy, and then I looked at even though it's only one episode, I know, but that just makes it even more, it just makes it even more surprising that someone or anyone would even say that Luffy versus Lucci is better than Kaido versus Luffy or Gear 5 Luffy. Because of this reason. The gum gum fruit, also known as the sun god fruit, is represents the god of liberation. The person who is dancing, giving food out, who is freeing people who are under the dictatorship of someone very powerful. Represented by Kaido versus Gear 5 Luffy. Kaido is the dictator. Luffy is obviously the liberator as he has the fruits. And it is also seen in a lot of episodes previously that he has liberated way more people. Dressrosa arc, Skypiea. Skypiea, there was a no. Dressrosa, there was I forgot his name. Doflamingo, sorry. And I'm sure there's many, many more that it would take too long to name. Now, this narrative for Luffy carries on within his devil fruit in the new information that was revealed with the Kaido and even in this episode too. Honestly confirmed, I'd rather say, with Vegapunk. Now, I feel like the reason why I'm reading these two comments together is I feel like Door Chair, the first comment, I should say, the reason they're saying that is because of the second comment. I feel like that would be the main reason that a majority of One Piece fans would say that episode was a better representation of Luffy or was a better way to show Gear 5. And the seriousness, it's not Luffy. I'm sorry. Luffy does get serious at times, but one thing that has continued with him since day 1 was his goofiness. It never changed. Day 1, he wasn't that. He was goofy, but he wasn't that serious. And as we go on, we do see him start to, I mean, he's growing as well, going from a teen to more of, I guess, a young adult. We see Luffy start to get serious about stuff, obviously, as becoming a pirate king isn't just some faraway dream, but something that he can actually grasp. And it's that specific goofiness that they reintroduce with the new information about the fruit and with Kaido that this new episode it has, but it doesn't have as much of. And that's why it's not better representation of Gear 5 Luffy. Gear 5 Luffy isn't known as someone who's the hero, who will save the day, defeat the king, and become this all-powerful hero. No, 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 no. That is not what it is. I mean, for crying out loud, Luffy can literally enlarge his enlarge his behind. You think that that's supposed to be a representation of power? No. And I feel like people, that's what they're getting confused about. They think this power up is supposed to be something all powerful that defeats every single character. No, it's not. This is simply to help other people be free. And it's simply just to be something fun and goofy for Luffy to use to show Luffy's his fruit being a reflection of Luffy's true inner self. And this episode, I better yet, this moment, it just doesn't show that. And I understand this I that moment needed to be in there. It needed to remind not just the characters in the anime, but the people watching just how powerful it is. Cuz I feel like yes, the Kaido arc, it definitely made Luffy pretty goofy. You know, literally you had Luffy doing the moonwalk and grabbing Kaido's eyes, but people don't realize the reason why a lot of it, and not saying that nothing wasn't serious there, because you had the scene where he was like basically dying but sort of like motivated himself, is the reason why most of it was goofy then, even until the end where he literally enlarges his hand so much and essentially just does a big punch, is because that episode really was supposed to introduce a fruit in a way to reflect Luffy. It was the perfect way to introduce the fruit. Because if it was just something all powerful, it would have been like, man, the main character syndrome, which you don't know is basically where the main character can't die and always gets a power up when they're about to die. And that's obviously that's apparent in I'd say a majority of main characters, obviously, but they made it so it's not just powerful, but it's also goofy as well, which was just amazing about that episode. But that the fact that this episode deviates from that narrative, I feel like making it serious is, I feel like people think is the important part of his Gear 5, and it's not. It's not that, and it's the fact that they think that that makes their opinion false, because you can ask any of the animators, you can ask any of the characters, any of the voice actors, anyone, and anyone who watches the anime who actually watches it, and they'll tell you Kaido was better than Luffy versus Lucci. Also, or Luffy versus Lucci. And honestly, let's be honest, it's probably because of call it. It's probably because people have read the manga and have been waiting for this fight for so long that people are like, "Oh wow, this fight is definitely better." Blah blah blah. Like, yeah. But that is it. Um, Tell me if you guys want me to respond to any of these other comments. I'm definitely saving this vid. There's like a bunch of like this. It says so Lucci is stronger than Kaido. Oh boy, I could go into that one for hours, but I'm gonna go ahead and just save this. But what do you think, guys? I'm also thinking of making another vid tomorrow morning about the music. I don't want to go too deep into it because you gotta watch the vid, but let's just say something interesting is happening with it. But yeah, that's about it.